conditioning for these types of races. As we see them going in there now, there's number 7 Diurnal, who has a very, very good win against the older horses last start. Back to his own age today, is expected to run very well. There's Skittles once again going in with Jimmy Cassidy aboard. And look, yeah, the fillies do get 3 kilos concession. It might be too much in this particular instance because this filly is pretty top class. Only words, she's racing very well. As we go to the race now, the
And they're underway. Kingside missed it. All going to do it. Didn't begin all that well. Missed the start by about a length. And Only Words is shooting through in the centre. And as one of the leaders with Handsome Ransom and Skittles out 3 wide in the early part. Niagara Falls was next and then came Terracotta Bay. Further back was Oxano and Diurnal. All going to do it is back second last, surprisingly. And Kingside is back last of all. They've got about 1,100 to go. And Skittles was trapped wide and Cassidy works forward now and cuts across the lead from Handsome Ransom. Only Words had to check off Skittles' heels there at the 1,000. It's now back third on the fence as the pace slackens right off here. Terracotta Bay finds itself 3 wide on the outside of Niagara Falls, which is pulling fiercely. And then Diurnal, followed by All Gonna Do It, is now making ground, but it's right off the track, 3 and 4 wide. Oxana was further back and last as Kingside. As they approach the 600, Terracotta Bay's whipped up around the outside to put some pressure on Skittles now, and Handsome Ransom's in between that pair. Only Words is running fourth and now switching off the rail, followed by Niagara Falls. Then All Gonna Do It, Diurnal, Oxano and Kingside as last. Coming to the turn, and it's Skittles in front on the inside from Terracotta Bay, and Only Words a length away. And then Handsome Ransom, Niagara Falls and All Gonna Do It, but Skittles kicked on strongly on the inside. It's the leader from Only Words giving chase on the outside, and Terracotta Bay, and then Kingside. Only Words is looming strongly, and she dashed to the front with 100 to go. Only Words in front of Skittles, and then Kingside, but Only Words, the filly, is too good, and she wins again. Close for second, Kingside or Skittles. Niagara Falls was fourth, and then All Gonna Do It. Then Terracotta Bay, and further back was Diurnal. Handsome Ransom was second last, and last in was Oxano.
There we go. Only Words. The girls bring it home.
Yes, the girls have beaten the boys again, but she was always well placed. She's a very, very good filly, this, and she got given a beautiful run in transit there by Rodney Quinn, who is the main stable rider for the Hawks establishment. They've obviously showed a little bit of loyalty here, giving Rodney the ride. He rode it perfectly. Posied up beautiful, third on the fence. Probably at the 200, I thought maybe he was a little bit too casual. I thought Jimmy might have pinched a break on Skittles, and he dictated terms beautifully out in front, Jimmy Cassidy. But Rodney Quinn had a lot of horse underneath him, and he was quite aware of that. And she's come away to win very, very impressively. He's down on the line. She's definitely an 8 contender now based on that run, but she will have to take on Special Harmony, who just won by 5 lengths at Moonee Valley once again. And there's the totes for the race. Number 10, Only Words, paying $2.60 and $1.30. Number 5, getting home lovely from the Bart Cummings stable, Kingside, $3.90 for second. And for third place, Skittles hanging on for third, paying $1.60. The Exacta paying $31.70. The Quinella, $26.80. And the Trifecta, $197.80. And there she is coming back to scale now. Lovely horse. We go to the head-on shot there. It's Terracotta Bay on the inside, who took off very early and fought on well in the end. That's Skittles on the rail. Right to the outside is Kingside. That's Niagara Falls in the yellow colours just inside Kingside, which is just getting home in the big white blaze. And she just lets down like a really nice horse. Come home very fast sectionals, 31.81. That's good time. She's a good filly. I think that's a very good form race for the Oaks, but I don't think they can beat Special Harmony.
Right, and so a good indicator for future races coming up?
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a tester for a few of these horses to see where they're going to go as far as the Derby goes. There was no Elstrom or Keep the Faith or Under the Bridge or Niello or any of the real contenders for the Derby, I don't think. So that was more of a second grade. Let's see how we're going and whether we're a Derby contender. Doesn't look like there are any Derby contenders outside of those 4 that I have just mentioned. Although she did look good enough to take on Special Harmony in the Oaks. She may not have it all her own way, but it's all interesting times ahead with some very, very exciting races in Sydney coming up.
Certainly is, and we'll be covering the Coolmore Classic Day from Rosehill Gardens here on Channel 31 throughout the day. Lots more races to come, Steve, and lots more other programming here on Channel 31. We are quite culturally and linguistically diverse. Not only do we bring you the horse racing, but you bring you everything else there is to have as well. And coming up now, we've got Indian TV, which has got some fantastic things to see on there, as including some Bollywood dance performances, which are fantastic. So stick around on Channel 31, enjoy the rest of your programming and enjoy the rest of the racing, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Towel down when she got to the barrier. Lashed is in there. So shouldn't be too long before they're underway. Coming up now, Terrific Taurus. And Strange Conflict is still out of line. Ambulance at $2 on the tote, $4.40 for Mummify, $6.20 Maccabee Diva. Often racing in the Ranvet Stakes, and they'll come into view any second now. And Mummify kicked up from the inside, stalled and leads. Ambulance not all that far in the early stages. Beedman wants to be right on the pace by the looks of it. Maccabee Diva on the outside, going up to shade it now. So Ambulance goes back to third. Sound Action is fourth. Strange Conflict on the outside. Lashed is back on the rail, and Terrific Taurus is in between that pair. As they go to the 1600, and it's Mummify in front. Maccabee Diva is up running second. So we've got a Caulfield Cup winner in front and a Melbourne Cup winner running second. Ambulance, the 3-year-old, is third, and then Strange Conflict, Sound Action is next. There's no pace on as they go to the back, and Nikolic dictating on Mummify. Back second last is Terrific Taurus, and back last of all on the inside is the mare Lashed. Heading down the back, and no pressure to the leader Mummify. Stacking them up in front by 3/4, Maccabee Diva running second. Strange Conflict whipping up on the outside to third, shading Ambulance now, who's fourth on the rail. Terrific Taurus is next, followed by Sound Action, and Lashed is back last of all, 5 or 6 off the lead. At the 1,000, and it's Mummify crawling along in the lead by 1.25 lengths. Maccabee Diva running second. Strange Conflict on the outside, 1 off the rail, and Ambulance fourth on the fence, and he's off now on Strange Conflict. He's going up to pressure Mummify at the 800. It's Mummify taken on by Strange Conflict. Maccabee Diva is third, Ambulance is fourth, and then came Terrific Taurus. Sound Action is second last, and last of all is Lashed. It's a sprint home as they come to the 600. Mummify kicking up on the inside to match it with Strange Conflict. Maccabee Diva next to Ambulance coming away from the rail, fourth on the outside. 2 lengths to Sound Action. Lashed is second last, and last is Terrific Taurus around the turn, and it's Mummify kicking away from Strange Conflict. Maccabee Diva and Ambulance are running on down the outside, and Sound Action. Mummify the leader at the 300. Ambulance is giving chase on the outside, and Sound Action is running on strongly. Sound Action moving up with Mummify and Maccabee Diva. Sound Action hit the front, and the mare is racing clear in the Ranvet. Sound Action wins it. Close for second, Maccabee Diva and Ambulance, and Mummify fourth, and then Lashed. A gap in the field after those two, Terrific Taurus, and last in was Strange Conflict.
Well, a very interesting race there. Leisurely start. Sort of very different finish, wasn't it?
Yes, well, it's Sound Action. She's been chasing Lonhro home, so it's no surprise to see her put that run in today. She did have a setback coming into this race, which put a lot of punters off her. But it's just rewards to Wayne Hawkeye. He's stuck with this horse, and she's done a great job. But then again, he's been chasing the great Lonhro home. So for him to do that to that field, it just shows how good Lonhro really is for anyone who still doubts that he is. That's a terrific win. Mummify got a very easy lead out in front. Thought he was going to pinch the race, and then Jimmy Cassidy had a rush of blood and whipped around them on Strange Conflict to put some pace into the race, which the race changed complexion over the last 400 metres. That's Mummify in front, Maccabee Diva on his outside. There's Wayne Hawkeye now on Sound Action on the outside, watching this nice mare let down nicely over the last bit. Glenn Boss has a look over and says, what's that coming? And Ambulance, don't know whether he stayed again today. I just don't know whether he's as good as what they think he is. He may have to reassess his situation with him, John Hawkes. I don't think he's a Derby contender. I don't know where he's going to go. Maybe to the Doncaster. There would be more in his suiting back to a mile, I think. But that's a terrific win, and it's a great joy to see Wayne Hawkeye win, and one of the battlers of racing win a Group 1 race instead of the normal Group 1 riders and trainers winning them. That's a fantastic performance, and well done.
And we did see the big heads come out, the Mummify and the Mackay Diva. Now, they came off some very big races last year. Well, it was, the races that Stop a Nation, the Spring Race Carnival, all that kind of thing. Is it a big race for those horses? Do they go off and have a spell and re-prepare themselves for a new season, or do they just treat it as one more race?
Yep, yeah, they just treat it as another race. This wasn't going to be their main aim. I mean, they're both up there for the Sydney Cup. This was always going to be a warm-up race for them. They weren't going to be wound up, right to 100%. They would have been about 90% today, both of these horses. And I must say, the way the race was run, they have both put in quite good runs. I mean, Mummify, they've come home their last 634.09, and that's pretty slick for this class in the last 600 metres of a 2,000 metre race. So I just think it was that middle stage burst of acceleration by Jimmy Cassidy on Strange Conflict that made the race pan into what it did. There's Sound Action now going to the front. That's Ambulance on the inside, and Mummify, then Maccabee Diva, and then Mummify on here is inside. So, I mean, maybe Ambulance wasn't disgraced there, but I'd be surprised if they carry on with him to carry on to a Derby preparation. But I'm not John Hawkes, and John Hawkes knows his horses a lot better than I do.
He certainly does. Well, we're going to go back to our normal programming here on Channel 31 now. Indian TV, all that Bollywood action, it's still happening, so we're going to cross back to that and stay with us for the rest of the afternoon. We've got more racing coming to you from the Coolmore Classic Day from Rosehill Gardens on Channel 31.
Super race. There's Private Steer going into the barriers now. She looks in a magnificent order. She's a beautiful horse. Let's hope she can get across and be competitive. Anyway, we'll cross to the call now for the call of the 2004 Group 1 Coolmore Classic from Rosehill Gardens.
The only Group 1 for fillies and mares in Australia, the Coolmore Classic. They're all set. And they're racing. Polar Success jumped out okay from the inside. One of the best to begin, Galapagos Girl with Faith Hill and Shamika. Polar Success settling down in a forward spot on the rail. Going up around the outside, Shower of Roses from her wide alley, and she takes the lead now. It's Shower of Roses striding clear. Shamika running second, Galapagos Girl third. And Private Steer has gone forward. She gets in about 3 wide in the early stages. Now probably working in a little bit closer. Faith Hill behind her with Victory Vane. Forum Floozy is trapped wide. And then Polar Success followed by Xana. Hinting is off the track from Vocabulary, getting back past midfield. Then Lucida in a bound. Ain't Seen Nothing was further back. Ike Stream is second last, and last is Mrs. Tendulkar. At the 800, and Shower of Roses the leader. Shamika is second, a length away, and Galapagos Girl is third. Private Steer, a great piece of riding by Boss, gets her in fourth, one off the fence. And then came Victory Vane, followed by Forum Floozy, and then Faith Hill. On the inside was Polar Success, and then came Hinting and Xana in a bound, and further back Vocabulary. Ike Stream a long way back as they come to the bend with Lucida, and Ain't Seen Nothing as they turn for home. And it's Shamika moving up on the outside to hit the front from Shower of Roses. Private Steer is down the outside, and Forum Floozy coming with it. But Shamika has burnt away at the 200, 2 or 3 lengths in front of Private Steer. And then came Forum Floozy in a bound down the outside, and Vocabulary is coming up on the fence. It's Shamika in front. She's holding them at bay. Private Steer lunging on the outside, but Shamika in a boil over. Beat Private Steer close for third. Vocabulary on the inside is there with Xana and Forum Floozy, and then Shower of Roses followed by In a Bound. Further back was Lucida, and then Hinting. Ike Stream was next from Galapagos Girl. Further back was Ain't Seen Nothing, Mrs. Tendulkar, and then came Polar Success, Faith Hill, and last in was Victory Vane.
Well, Group...
there we go. Fantastic race there. Very interesting again. The ladies pulling out all the interesting angles there.
Yes, well, look, that's a fantastic race. And nice to see Shamika return to form for Gay Waterhouse and Jimmy Cassidy. She's been a little bit below her best. She's been a potential star. But what a great ride by Glenn Boss on Private Steer. Jumping from the outside alley, he got her across into the 1-1 trail. It gave her every possible hope. I must admit, I did make a comment at the 300-metre mark. I thought she's got too much weight. She's going to drop out here. And then she just picked up the bit and started to come again the last 100 metres. That's a phenomenal effort from this fantastic mare. There's Jimmy out in front. He's just gone for home early and drifted to the middle of the track. That's Danny Nikolic saving all the ground on the inside on Vocabulary. And Glenn Boss in the blue colours. That's Forum Floozy on his outside in the green and black checks. And they're the only ones in it at this stage. And there Jimmy just hangs on. That's Xana getting home late in the middle with the blue cap and the yellow colours. But well done to Gay Waterhouse. She's had a bit of a lean trot down here with her horses. Her horses go much better. There's the totes. Number 10, Shamika, $21. What great value that is. $6.70 the place. Number 1, Private Steer, $1.90, and number 7 for third, which was Forum Floozy, paying $5. The Exacta paid $1,630, Quinella $47.40, and the Trifecta a great dividend of $1,925.30, and the first 4, wow, $25,391, and number 6, Xana ran 4th, so well done to anyone who got the first 4. Nice 25,000 jumps in. Sure shout tonight at the bar. Anyway, there's Jimmy coming back. Once again, ran good sectionals. And a terrific win to go Waterhouse.
It certainly was, and very exciting. Now, Group 1, we did notice there's some fine-looking horse flesh there having a run. Group 1, there's some young horses as well. What makes them a Group 1 horse?
Oh, well, ability, really. They have Group 1 2-year-old races, they have Group 3-year-old races, and they have Group 1 open races. But this is a Group 1 race for the best fillies and mares in the land. It's restricted to fillies and mares, but there's no restriction in quality there, as you saw. Shamika was a very good horse last preparation, been a bit disappointing, but back to her best today. She was always going to be one of the chances in the race. Fantastic effort. Private Steer, great horse. All of those horses in the first probably, well, every horse in that race is a quality horse, and that's why they were in the race. They've all won good prize money. Even if you go down to the bottom weight, the bottom weight's even won $53,000, which is not a bad effort for a horse like that. So look, that was a fantastic race. Group 1 racing is on fire in Sydney now at the moment, and the next couple of weeks is going to be a very, very exciting time. We've got the Golden Slipper coming up, we've got the Derby, we've got the Doncaster, we've got the Oaks. We've got it all coming up in Sydney racing in the next fortnight.
So very exciting times in the horse racing industry. Exciting times for Steve. We'll have to contain him. We're going to go to our regular programming now. Stay tuned though, we do have more racing coming to you from Rosehill Gardens in Sydney. But now we're going to go to Asian Community Television with some excellent performances from some of the young Asian performers from around the community. So get into that, and we'll see you a little later on in the afternoon here on Channel 31.
It comes in, and we're waiting for Pateza and for Thorn Park, both likely to get well back in the field. Now Thorn Park, the only one to move in, 2:30 now with Tab Limited. They're ready to go. 1,300 metres. Racing. On a high, missed the start, goes back to the tail. Yell jumped out well from the inside. Grand Army is up there on the outside with Sportsman. Century Kid in that division as well. But Yell's going to hold the inside running and lead a half on Sportsman. Century Kid is third, and there's not a lot of speed on. Grand Army trying to slot in behind them, and True Glow getting up in the centre to be about 4th or 5th now. And then Thorn Park and Stowaway on a high, and Pateza's last 6 off the lead. Yell's getting a picnic in front as they come down the side. It leads by a length and a half. Sportsman is second. Century Kid is third. True Glow is 4th, getting a good run, and then Grand Army followed by Stowaway, and further back was On a High. Thorn Parker's back near the rear, and he's 3 wide, and Pateza's last of all. They approach the 600, and it's Yell doing his own thing in front, leading from Century Kid and Sportsman, and then Grand Army, True Glow going up near the inside, and further back was Thorn Park starting his run. Then came On a High, Stowaway and Pateza's last, but Yell kicked away as they turned for home. He's about 2 or 3 lengths in front. Century Kid getting to the outside. Grand Army's running on. Thorn Parker's coming down the outside, still spotting them a big start, and True Glow near the inside, but it's Yell nicely clear inside the 200. Grand Army is the danger on the outside. It's Yell under the whip in front. Grand Army is stretching strongly on the outside, but Yell's in front from Grand Army, and Yell all the way beat Grand Army. True Glow third, Century Kid fourth, and then came Pateza, followed by On a High. Thorn Park didn't flatter at all. Stowaway back with it, and Sportsman last in.
Well, we wondered if Grand Army could return to form in New South Wales, and well, there you go. There's your answer.
Yes, it's a remarkably improved run from Grand Army, but not as good as Yell. Yell, probably he was the forgotten horse of the race. He is Australia's Sprinter of the Year last year, and he's proven that he's right back on track. And what a great performance again by John Hawkes. John Hawkes knows where to take his horses to win races. It doesn't matter whether he takes them from Sydney to Adelaide or from Adelaide to Melbourne. Wherever he takes them, you know that he's going to place them right, and you know that his horses are going to be right in the race. That is one of the best training performances performances for a placement of a horse that you'll ever see. That, I mean, he was looked like he was out of form in Melbourne and gone, and the forgotten horse. He's come here, Group 2, straight to the front, dictated terms, and couldn't get run down by Grand Army or True Glow, who was making late ground as well. Look, Thorn Park disappointing on face value, had every chance to run at them, didn't. Was behind Grand Army on the corner, and Grand Army went away from him in the straight. Nice to see Grand Army return to form. Great to see Yell return to form, and that's a fantastic win for the Hawks camp.
Now, we said just some of the tactics of the trainers, putting the horses in the right races. What's a jockey thinking about before all these different races? Because a number of jockeys ride several races in the day, don't they?
Yeah, I guess it's a lot to do with tactics. They try and work out how the race is going to be run, how they can position their horse in the race to give it the best possible chance, and just ride, you know, as the race unfolds. I mean, it's very, very difficult for the jockeys in some situations. As we go back to the head-on shot here, we see they get a bit tight. They haven't got time to make decisions. They have to make split-second decisions in a fraction of a second. They haven't got time to hold a committee meeting out there when the runs come or not. So they put their life on their line every time they go around, these guys. And there's the totes now from Rosehill, race 7. Number 2, the winner, Yell, paying $5 and $1.50. Number 1, Grand Army, second, $2.30. And number 7, True Glow, for third, paying $2.30. The Exacta paid $30.20. The Quinella, $19. And the Trifecta, $119. That's a great effort by Yell and Darren Beedman and John Hawkes. And it was great to see Grand Army and True Glow run a race. The 3 top trainers in the country run 1, 2, 3. That's a great effort. And they usually do come to the fore when these big races come along, Amy.
And we've spoken about tactics there. Now, a number of punters out there may not have your expertise, Steve. When punters are looking at the horses, in terms of confirmation, what should they be looking for in order to place their tips?
Well, it's very difficult before you get to the races. So when you get to the races, you've done your form and you know what horses you think are well placed. So the best thing to do is go and have a look at them in the yard to see how well they look in the coat. If they've got a nice shiny coat, then if they've got a bit of dullness in their coat, you know they're not feeling 100%. They're a lot like humans, really, horses. If they're shiny in the coat, then you know they'll race a lot better, and you can tell how fit they are by how muscled up they are or how soft they are around the girth. So it's a pretty in-depth sort of science, the horse watcher's job. But look, if they're shiny in the coat and they look well within themselves, that they generally race well.
Excellent. Well, there's some tips for you if you are down at the race courses this weekend enjoying it. We hope you're enjoying our coverage of the Rosehill Gardens Coolmore Classic Day here on Channel 31. You're joined by Amy and Steve, and we're going to return to our normal programming now. We've got a few more races left this afternoon, so stick around and we'll see you shortly on Channel 31.
Clary Connors.